A warm welcome to all. Today we have with us Rachna Gujral. Rachna Gujral, a canine nutrition expert and the founder of Skylish Petcare, a trusted brand offering healthy and safe dog treats, meals, and cakes for your furry companions. She's in the final stage of completing her practitioner's diploma in canine nutrition from the International School of Canine Psychology, UK. The idea behind this interaction is to understand the canine nutrition from a nutritionist point of view and spread awareness amongst new upcoming brands and pet parents. As everyone knows, nutrition plays an important role in pets' health. So, why did you choose to venture into pet care kind of space after working with reputed companies like Infosys or the Tech Mahindra?
It was 2 decades into almost 2 decades working into the corporate sector. I took a natural break, not with an intention to, start, a business, but one thing led to the other, and very soon we realized we had two pups. We, couldn't, uh, you know, get away with. They just came into our lives, and we decided to take ownership. I've always grown up with pets around me, like right from my childhood days, but there was a very conscious step to not have pets when I got married and I moved to Hyderabad. Because one, my husband was not, didn't have a background with pets, and again, I never liked the idea of leaving pets at home, uh, you know, unattended throughout the day. So, and it was always a corporate life then, back then, running into extended hours. So I definitely didn't want, a pet to be staying back alone at home with just the two of us. So it was a very conscious step to not have pets for almost 13 years. But finally, when I took a break from the corporate world, a little bit of, work into the rescue areas, and we landed up with two pets who were two puppies who were born to an abandoned Labrador. She was found stranded on, by a rescuer, and she hand raised the puppies. But finally, after 1 month, she was looking for homes, and we had to, trade it, not trade it off, but like there was a Great Dane that I had rescued, and the rescuer needed, somebody to take care of the puppies while she attended to the Great Dane. And that's where, they came in, and then they never left after that.
We'll talk about the healthy treat and giving them a treat, also the nutrition now. So,
Mm.
what are the, as a puppy and the 2 years, they grow about what, 12, 13 years, 14 years, right? Compared to
Mhm.
human, we've got about 14 years to grow, and then our nutrition can take 1 to 14 years. Whereas
Yes.
dogs, nutrition is in 12, 24 months, we'll have to fulfill some of the basic foundation nutrition for them.
Right.
Yeah.
In
So
fact, in
what?
the first 6 months itself is where the main
Yeah.
formative
Yeah.
phase for a puppy is, because the bones are developing at that point, their organs are developing,
Yeah.
and the puppy itself is developing into an adult.
So,
So they grow to a full size, as soon as they're 6 or 8 months.
yeah.
And of course, by the time they attain maturity in terms of physical physiology,
Mm.
mentally, as well as, physically, that would about 1.5 to 2 years, depending on the different breeds that we have. But yeah, they typically take about that time, and so hence the nutrition at the puppy stage is more important. Then when, because once they become adults, they are more in a maintenance form rather than a formative stage.
Correct.
So that's where the protein requirements are more there. They need more nutrition, they need more nutrients for their organs and for their bones to develop at that point of time.
Yeah. So what do you suggest? What are the nutrient or the, as in thing and a nutritionist, do you suggest for a new pet parent, bringing the pet at home, that they can take care or they can feed them, which is natural, or even from the market? And the second question is, in the market, when you see it, do you see a gap here that we do not have a holistic meal or holistic the supplements and diets that meant for the puppies?
Yeah, I mean, if see honestly, there are a lot of parallel philosophies in nutrition that are available, that are, so, and the problem is that there's, there are very few they overlap. They don't overlap at many intersections. So, if you go to a vet would, recommend you to go with kibbles, a good quality kibble, that will, support the formative stage for a puppy. If you want to go the natural way or the raw feeding way or any other, approach that you want to adopt for your puppy, you will need a proper guidance from a qualified nutritionist who can help you formulate. And it's not just about the formulation. Following that to the T is very important. And let's accept, it's not very easy for us to follow it through and through on that. When I go back to kibbles, I'm not saying that any kibble is good, but there are a lot of good quality kibbles that are there in the market that we can adopt from a puppy formation stage point of view.
So
Yeah.
enlighten us a little bit about the raw feeding. Why is it good? It's bad, and if it is, why?
Yeah. So for me, from raw feeding point of view, the risks are far higher than what uh, the nutrition benefits that raw feeding will bring.
Yeah.
One is the contamination. One is the second is the pathogenic content. The way we handle meat in our country, because even for human consumption, when we go and buy these meats, most of the butchers that are there, especially chicken, say for example, if you buy it from a local butcher, they'll all be raised using antibiotics or hormone shots, which is, and you will not know the difference, and you'll end up causing more harm to your pet than giving them the raw meat with the right intention. So that's one reason why I generally do not recommend raw feeding.
Yeah. So, let's break down a little bit about the wet food, right? So one is the wet food, which is freshly prepared at home and retort
Hmm.
or frozen. And the another one is the wet food we get in a can and packed, right? And now also we have a lot of gravies being sold uh, by Indian brands as well as the imported brands. So
Right.
what's basic difference between a raw, the dry and wet food? And when you are preparing a wet food, for the company, what should they keep it in mind?
For a company, I'm not too sure, but from a pet
Yeah,
parent point of view, if at all I have
yeah,
to give them one wet kibble or wet food for that matter, the extrusion process is how they are made.
yeah,
That that is questionable for me in terms of how much nutrition it retains at the end of the process. Yes, it has all the nutrition benefits, it has all the vitamins, but all of them are in chemical form, which is not surprising. That's how it is made, because it's very difficult to keep the nutrition while you are exposing it to that degree of heat when you are extruding and when you are removing the moisture from it. And then my another problem with kibbles is the preservatives that are being used to for the shelf life that it calls for. So if you're talking about 6 to 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, and the food is supposed to be good in that packet,
mhm,
it definitely calls for a lot of preservatives for it to sustain that kind of shelf life. So that is one of the reasons why it will cause harm to your dog in the long run, not immediately, but in the long run. Uh, for so yes, kibbles, while it is a very convenient way of feeding, it is a balanced way of feeding to your dog.
What are the names of your treats? What are they, and what varieties or the SKUs that you have?
We have cookies,
Okay,
a range of cookies. Cookies are just real fruit-based ones.
okay,
We don't make any meat-based cookies
okay.
because I don't want meat in, cookie form or mixed with any other ingredient, because that will, contaminate over a period of time. So that's the reason I avoid any meat-based cookies when we are making. But in general, the cookies that we make, we don't use any butter, we don't use oil, we don't use sugar, salt, preservatives, nothing. It's all natural ingredients, and it has survived, good 8 months, 6 to 8 months. Though we've
Great.
kept the shelf life at 6 months,
Yeah,
we tested it, and we've, even after 9, 10 months, they've been pretty good for us to eat.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, for us to eat, even we eat them.
It's just that they do not taste sweet or salty. It's
No,
just
they do.
black.
They're very yummy.
Okay,
Yeah,
because of the
because then
fruit.
there's natural sweetness in there.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of sweetness from apples and bananas, and
sure.
the peanut itself is, the way we roast it. I have, in fact, we do make a batch for ourselves for our home as well.
Yeah. I think it can be sold as the diabetic biscuits for the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
who
They,
diabetes.
in
Yeah,
fact, if you look at the nutrition values of our cookies,
yeah.
it has more protein content than the most healthiest cookie that you'll find on the shelf for humans.